right here. It's In-Game Live. It's Kevin Walsh, it's Donnie Rightside, and Joe Lisi. Bears, Seahawks. Let's get into it here, fellas. Talk to me. Chicago catching 4.5, 5. Lisi, what do you like?
Yeah, I lean to Seattle minus the 4.5. They're a 5-1 road team right now. I did. That's it. My voice killed you guys, right from the get-go. All right, battle in the cold. What do you want me to say? Here we go.
Listen,
unbelievable.
It caught me off guard.
It caught me off guard, but we bounced back.
Yep,
bounced back. I lean to Seattle.
You had to loosen the tires.
I lean to Seattle. I lean to the under, actually. 42. Yeah, 42.5. Not sold on Geno Smith. I did take a shot tonight on Cole Kmet. Over 17.5. Over 25 plus at plus money, guys.
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams is the better option at quarterback for me. 215.5 going over. I think the yards will be there. Keenan Allen certainly coming through as of late. Also, DJ Moore having a pretty good season late, getting a lot of share of those targets. As we see the game opening up here, doesn't look like weather conditions all that bad. Quite frankly, doesn't even look like any rain at this point. There's a chance for that to happen. So a pretty clean slate tonight. So I actually, Joe, lean more towards the over 42.5. For my wagers pregame, don't have any outside of a boost, which is one quarterback to each throw a touchdown at a plus 100 price. But I'm going to be involved in this game tonight because I do think there's some really good angles. I just want to see who has the lead and sort of play off of that, Joe.
For me, best bet's the Bears catching 5.
Is it?
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, Seattle needs this game significantly less than everybody realizes. This number is way too close to what Detroit laid last week. Bears much better at home. Bears now not having to play the Lions or Packers or Vikings every single week here as well. Great Chicago spot. Love him catching the 5. Played Charbonnet, 23.5 receiving. DJ Moore, 55, 56.5 receiving. And then took Kenny McIntosh.
Did you?
27.5 rush receiving. Just in case, I don't know, maybe they don't even like Charbonnet. McIntosh is the lead back. We don't know.
Really? Okay. We'll see how this game plays out. I mean, you're talking about Seattle that has lost 2 straight. For Chicago right now, no offensive identity. They've lost 9 straight games. What are you going to get out of Thomas Brown in terms of the play calling? We've seen Caleb Williams step up as it relates to the passing attack. Did take a shot in terms of Cole Kmet, but also Keenan Allen, 40-plus receiving tonight.
All right, we got a little Keenan Allen juice then in here as well. I'm excited to watch this one play out. Just in case you're just tuning in with us, you might say, man, what is this kid talking about? That the game doesn't matter for Seattle. I will try and explain this as best I can, though I've been wildly unsuccessful all night in my attempts. If the Rams lose on Sunday, Seattle's result does not matter. If the Rams win on Sunday, Seattle is almost assuredly done because it will come to a strength of victory tiebreaker, which the Rams are going to win because the Rams beat the Vikings and the Bills. That's about as simple as I can give it to you. People are tweeting about how badly Seattle needs it. It's not true. They didn't rest starters. Maybe Seattle's not aware of it. I'm just telling you, it's what happens with the Rams is all that matters for the Seattle Seahawks this week.
But they still have to win tonight, though.
Not really.
No, they could lose.
If they lose and the Rams lose, the division's still in the air. If they win and the Rams win, the Rams are going to win on strength of victory tiebreaker.
I would still like to win this game and then hope that the Rams lose and know that you have that game in terms of week number 18. I'm not suggesting that you're right about that, but I'm just saying from an MO, if you're Seattle, you don't want to lose 3 straight heading into that game.
Of course, otherwise they would have benched everybody, right?
Yeah, they're all gone.
So I'm just saying, them losing this game, like their odds to make the playoffs, it's not going to shift. It's not. It comes down to what the Rams do on Saturday against Arizona. That's all. And hopefully the Rams lose because I like when we have Week 18, everything on the line.
Well, last time they played, they got blown out, 41-10. Early in the year, that's when Puka it was hurt and all those offensive linemen. So,
yep. All Charbonnet early here, though, for Seattle. Really weird situation last week. Kind of inexplainable. If it was a bigger team, if it was a national game, would have had a lot of coverage. For anybody that missed it, Charbonnet named captain and then was given a season-low snap percentage. Like every indication was, he's about to take the job off Ken Walker. And then he was battling for his life to beat out Kenny McIntosh to get on the field for some reason. Doesn't really add up still to me, Donnie, but nevertheless, he's in the mix.
Yeah, he's going to be the lead dog tonight as anticipated. You see him there, all 3 downs, starting that first drive. And then, of course, 1st and 10 as they move it along. I'm interested to see the very first play that they called tonight was to Tyler Lockett. He's not getting a lot of love. So we'll see if he works in a little bit more today, but Charbonnet close to a first down run at this point. We talked about it earlier, Kevin, on Game Time Decisions. Where's the touchdown market going to go? I think Charbonnet has a legitimate chance to score a touchdown, but I didn't want to pay the minus 165 for him. But if it's one of those opportunities where that dips during the game, I believe he is, Joe, going to get the goal line carries. So I think it's a formidable chance that Charbonnet does get in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, he's a workhorse. So, I mean, he could take a game over 131 yards against Arizona. They're starting to run the football. And that's the thing. If they have success on the ground, that opens up the play-action passing attack for possibly DK Metcalf and JSN. Noah Fant getting involved as well.
A good start here if you're an overbacker. You'd like Seattle to get in on the board early.
It's like
make
it's
sure
raining now.
That's Chicago.
Yeah,
was
looks
weather
like
expected tonight?
Weather is expected with some rain, but opening up, they didn't have anybody with the umbrellas on, but I do see like the glistening parts of the helmet, though, so maybe a little bit of rain down there now.
They hit the total down to 41.5 about 2 hours before kick and brought it right back up.
Yeah, it's a Chicago team that I think is tough to get a full, clear read on. I don't think anybody – like, they're not one of the worst teams in football, which is what their record suggests.
They were 4-2 at one point.
I mean, yeah, that's some losing. Again, the Eberflus fire didn't fix anything, but how would it? It's a dead year by the time they got rid of the guy.
Yeah, McIntosh is in, by the way.
Yeah, again –
spell.
He'll get some work tonight, right? It's not going to be 50-50, but it's not going to be 95-5, right? Like you'll get some Kenny McIntosh. So I thought the 27.5 rush receiving was worth it. His rush attempts number was 4.5. His rushing yards straight was 18.5, and that was only on some books, not even being listed across the map when you talk about his numbers here. So we are going to be running up against the break, though. They've pushed it inside Bears territory pretty quickly. We've also got Rutgers K-State on here, which is one of the crazier bowl games we've had so far. Come on, McIntosh.
This.
Right back.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans bound by passion, each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
How do you find some of this great talent that you've brought in, who are still early in their career, might not have a ton of tape on them yet?
I've been around this business, man, for almost 20 years. So a lot of these guys will tell you that I popped into a lot of gyms, sparred or just worked on the side or, kind of worked out, just watching. I've always loved this sport, man. I think it's the greatest. And we want to continue to put on the next up-and-coming superstars. We know we got them.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. When he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Live right here on SportsGrid, where I'm telling you, if the Seattle Seahawks made a phone call, hey, we need somebody to help us figure out whether we should run or pass on third down, there's some guys on the desk that could help them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying everybody on the desk, but there's certainly some on the desk that could help them. They settle for a field goal. I'm going to give you your updated numbers, and then I'm going to harp on it because that's what I do. Spread's 4.5 now. Total's 41.5. They are absolutely smashing this team with their ground game. They have 7 carries all to the running back position for 53 yards, 7.6 a pop.
Mm.
They on a 3rd and 3 at the 9-yard line let Geno Smith, who leads the NFL in red zone interceptions, throw it. And the only reason he didn't throw his 5th red zone interception is because 2 guys had too good of a chance to pick it off, and they banged into one another.
They didn't want to be predictable, though. That was the biggest thing.
Well,
they don't want to put anything on tape for next week. That's what smart move.
Well, we see the coaches do it all the time, right? Something's working, and then once they get inside the red zone, they change it up because the defense makes adjustments. I'm not suggesting they did that there, but at the end of the day, they got 3 points. We'll see if they continue to pound the rock. Could be a huge day for both McIntosh and Charbonnet tonight.
Yeah, you always want points on your opening drive, which is the key, but how do you go about getting those points? And Kevin's right, on 3rd and 3, we're running the ball. Hand it off, get 1 yard, you're going for it. Hand it off, go backwards, you ended up kicking the field goal anyway. Or you let Geno throw it into double coverage right off a defender's chest that didn't intercept it. They're lucky they got points, and they did. We'll see how Chicago counterbalances this. But again, for my numbers here, like DK Metcalf, no targets on that first drive. Jackson Smith and Jigma, no targets on that drive, which is kind of stunning at this point. We'll see if that changes up. I want to see who gets the targets here for the Chicago Bears. Or is it say, you ran the football, now Swift's going to run the football?
Question for you guys on McIntosh. Huge mover right now. 57.5 for a pure rushing prop. Pre-game, I know one book had the 60-plus as his highest rung of the ladder at 11-1 rushing. And now that's essentially what you're getting for a straight number. I know it's only one drive of evidence, Donnie, but what now? What did you think pregame Charbonnet McIntosh would look like? 90-10, 85-15?
Yeah, 75-25, worst case scenario at this point, which means that, he's going to get the opportunities talking about Charbonnet on the goal line. But also, hear me out on this one. Taking the opportunity for next week. Are we running Charbonnet if he's our lead dog 25 times in the fourth quarter if we have a lead? Or is this like, hey, guys, you know what? Spell some in the tank because we have an important one coming up next week. Not to say it's going to play out that way, but the way you see some of these games, let's just say Seattle has a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter late. I don't think Charbonnet is going to be closing this game out because you're already on to next week and you don't want to get any players injured.
Yeah, 78.5 is too high for me for Charbonnet. I would take a shot on McIntosh, 57.5 to Donnie's point. He looks like he's getting more touches than Charbonnet right now. And if it is trending to the under like I believe, that means possibly more carries in the second half. So I would take a shot on McIntosh.
Look, I think Charbonnet came out and ran really well. I think it was a situation where I said, okay, look, we're going to use Kenny tonight. And Kenny only earned more work off of that opening drive that he just put out there. So I just think you're looking at a situation where, let's just say you had a 85-15 split. We tighten that up 65-35 now, and that's going to allow McIntosh for some opportunities here. We'll see what the Chicago Bears are able to do. Any big expectations for you guys tonight from this Bears offense?
No, actually, I think they should have success. I was also interested, again, the Caleb Williams talked about him, ad nauseum at 215.5. His rushing prop was around that mid-20s range, and he's been real active back there, sometimes not making the right plays with his feet, but certainly I thought it was one of those where it's like, you know what, we're not going to the playoffs. Let me just put my best foot forward in this game, which could be running the ball. So a lot of me centric around what we're getting out of Caleb, and we'll see what happens on this first drive.
24.5 was Caleb's number, so we'll see if he could get there. He was
rushing.
Yep, rushing on the ground. I didn't like his passing prop. I think it was in the area of about 215, 215.5. Geno was 248.5. I'll just say this. They're at home. They want to stop the bleeding. I just expect more of a methodical, slower type of attack just because the way they've played. That's why I played it to the tight end. Cole Kmet hasn't really been a part of that offense. A lot of checkdowns, I believe, tonight. And that's why I think this game is an under. So we'll see. But Keenan Allen is the one guy from a wide receiver perspective I would take over DJ Moore.
Yeah, I gave DJ Moore the chance because Keenan's number was actually higher. And for me, that meant we could buy a little lower potentially then on DJ Moore. It was Roma Dunze who got the first target of the game, wasn't able to bring it in, and it's an immediate 3-and-out from the Chicago Bears, which is going to shift some numbers here. So we'll get you the updated numbers on the other side. It's a quick break. We're live with you, SportsGrid, in-game live Thursday night football.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans, bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
How do you find some of this great talent that you've brought in, who are still early in their career, might not have a ton of tape on them yet?
I've been around this business, man, for almost 20 years. So a lot of these guys will tell you that I popped into a lot of gyms, sparred or just worked on the side or, kind of worked out, just watching. I've always loved this sport, man. I think it's the greatest. And we want to continue to put on the next up-and-coming superstars. We know we got them.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back right here on Pro Football, today's in-game live, watching the Thursday nighter between Seattle and Chicago. Number comes up a little on the spread, 5.5, but the expectation is not a ton of scoring, so a total of 39.5. They're not shooting this thing up too far just because Seattle is up 3-0 with the ball, Joe.
No, but if it does get into the mid-30s in terms of the total, that would be an area that I would want to jump in. 34.5. 35, Donnie, would be an area I would be willing to take a shot just because of how that Seattle offense is balanced. We haven't seen DK or JSN get involved. I still think Seattle is good for 17, 20 points in this ballgame.
Yeah, take a look at this first play where Geno Smith, I think he trips over.
Did he get hurt?
I think he trips over himself. Or no, steps on the running back's foot on a play action, takes a sack. But, yeah, we're waiting for the superstars to show up here. And maybe we do get some depressed numbers a little bit later, even into the first quarter or second quarter on JSN and or DK Metcalf here. Maybe even that prop that we're looking at to start the game on Geno Smith. It was about, 252.5, something in that range. So we'll see.
250 seems like
a
high number, though.
There he is in the receiving.
Look at
Give me a little extra. There we go.
Oh, what do you got, rushing and receiving?
I took 23.5 for him through the air on Charbonnet.
He's wearing big pads.
Yeah.
No?
Does. That's a good system.
Yeah.
Also, that elbow pad there, that's the AP one. Great move.
You like that?
Yeah.
I predict he's going to take that off because he's going to fumble the football and blame that. How about that? Little style points.
Okay.
All right.
By the way, Fitz for Seattle, this is their best uniform.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Wait, you're saying more than the old school?
Not the throwback.
I love the throw.
Okay, well, I'll take that out. This is their best regular fit for me.
All right.
Opposed to what, though, even? Like just
The home.
blue on blue.
The home all green is hilariously, ridiculously, stupidly bad, and I don't know why they wear that.
You know why I disagree? Metcalf looks great in it.
No,
And that answers the whole.
That's it?
For it. Yeah, that answers for it.
So if Metcalf looked great in everything and everybody else didn't, that's it. Good.
That's how we'll base it.
How about
All right.
Is
JSN?
that all right with you or no?
It's fine. I like the throwbacks.
What'd you think of the
throwbacks,
Christmas
beautiful.
games?
Terrible.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Good take.
no.
We
But
watching the NBA.
I was
in your
just
house?
going to say no. Pittsburgh better make a change at quarterback. They need to
Let's
do
make a
something.
change at head coach.
Yeah.
You know what? Why not?
Go ahead. Put it up.
I think you're both probably right. And I'm going to there are people out there who will hear the Mike Tomlin thing
Mhm.
and go absolutely nuts. So please allow me to defer
Oh, I like it.
to the decades-plus-long Philadelphia Eagle fan. I saw almost a silly person yesterday go, man, the Eagles really fired this guy because they didn't think he could win the big one, referring to Andy Reid.
Mhm.
Mind you, the Eagles won the Super Bowl before Andy Reid did,
Correct.
after firing him.
Correct.
Firing a coach does not mean he is bad and does not mean he has been good for your organization. Again, Donnie, you can speak to that as well as anybody.
Yes. And we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and Andy Reid and their tenure, which, that was my formidable years all the way through. Fantastic football coach. But I sit on this panel and I say tonight, the Eagles would be sitting here with Andy Reid today and still not have a Super Bowl championship. Because when you get fired, you self-evaluate yourself and realize what you were doing wrong, which, again, he won a lot of football games, couldn't win the big one. He also would always tell you he didn't need a number one wide receiver. Goes to Kansas City. Tyreek Hill had major issues with Andy Reid, would never take that on in Philadelphia, grabs him there. You even had to have his brother, talking about Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce, for Jason to vouch for his brother to be taken by Andy Reid because he had issues in college. So Andy Reid taking on sort of players that he never would have tested and forcing himself to open up, embracing the running game as opposed to throwing it 75 million times a game with Andy Reid. Great football coach, never would have won in Philadelphia, got fired and won a Super Bowl because he took chances and coaches a little bit differently.
You know who's in that category? Shanahan with San Francisco.
So
I
that's
believe.
the comparison people always make.
Mhm.
Maybe it's true, maybe it's not.
Yes.
But it's here's my thing on Tomlin. He has been amazing for them in that he is never bad.
Right. But they
No
plateaued.
coach can survive this level of playoff drought other than Mike Tomlin. I know people think that it is disrespect. Nobody here thinks Mike Tomlin's a bad coach.
Mm-mm.
It's not working. You need to reset if you are Pittsburgh. And if Tomlin is either refusing or possibly too good to allow you to reset, if having Mike Tomlin and TJ Watt locks you in for 9 victories and you can't reset, okay, then maybe you have to do something drastic. Again, like Pittsburgh likes to puff their chest out like, we don't fire coaches. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Eagles fired Andy Reid, brought in Chip Kelly, fired Chip Kelly, brought in Doug Peterson, won a Super Bowl. Guess what? Fired him, brought in Nick Sirianni, went to another Super Bowl, and that whole time Tomlin's been looking around for a postseason victory.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the NFL is not – it is not the NBA, and where being consistently good but not competing for a championship is all good, right? In the NFL, every year you're supposed to think you can actually win at a high level. Every year there are surprise teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington Commanders are 10-5 and going to the playoffs in year one of Jaden Daniels, and their thought process is awesome. We have a decade long of rock star football now because we got the guy. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a decade plus in a Mike Tomlin, keeping them above water, but they're never actually swimming.
Right, they're treading water and they plateaued. That they get to a certain level, and I actually thought last year was his best coaching job, one of his best.
Yeah.
Prior to the Super Bowl, I'm talking over the last 5 or 6 seasons. He took a third-string quarterback in Mason Rudolph, got the team to play against Buffalo, and they got knocked out.
Yeah.
So he set the stage, but right now, Russell Wilson isn't the answer.
No.
And that offense now has regressed since the middle part of the year. And what are you going to do? They can't even run the football consistently anymore.
Or give up 3 first-round picks for Cam Ward. You can't.
They won't do that.
They won't. But it is ridiculous for them to continue to operate this way. They're the same. Another 4th and 5 punt. Unbelievable.
What are they playing for?
Bears, nothing.
No, but I'm saying, like, what is Thomas Brown doing?
I wouldn't go.
You're at midfield.
Hold on. Okay, but again, so it's 3rd and 5, and we're at the 45.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, run the football on 3rd and 5.
Probably should have, but also they did have a wide open pass that was dropped by Keenan Allen, which is crazy.
Yeah, which is always the tough thing. Again, that's the Eagles' losses, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I wish you ran it, but the guy should have caught the football kind of thing. Look, I'm just like Donnie. You've been the high man on the desk of the Steelers.
Yeah.
Did your evaluation of that team change after that game at all?
But I don't know what the evaluation of the Steelers was never like. I never thought they'd be a Super Bowl team, but I do think they're better overall with Russell Wilson. Now, granted, the last 3 games
Which
against
you're
upper
right
level
about.
competition.
Like, you are correct. They are better with Russ than Fields.
Yeah, but you're right about one thing where I don't think they're ever going to make a change because it's Tomlin and they do win. It's hard to fire coaches that win, and fans are still filling the stadium. Nobody's like going on anarchy at this point. But also, understand this. You say, well, it's not Mike Tomlin's fault. Like, it's Arthur Smith. It's the opposite. You do understand who hires these offensive coordinators.
Yep.
It's Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin goes, and the joke on the desk was, you got to be kidding me. Russ is going to win games throwing for 400 yards. That's not Steeler football. Let's get back to Steeler football, which apparently is now losing big games but still making the playoffs and winning 10 games a year. But the funny thing is I do think they are going to win a playoff game if they match up against the Houston Texans.
No, the way Houston's playing right now, I mean, they would most likely win that game. C.J. Stroud and that offense are completely in disarray, Kev.
What would it take to get Tomlin out in Pittsburgh, though? Honestly, because obviously they're not going to fire. Yeah, they're not going to fire him. But there is an MO for the Steelers. Is this organization is not, how can I say it? Seattle Seahawks, let's just say, who have won Super Bowl championship. But let's go with a team that has none. Like, hey, we're just happy to be here. This team is always measured about Super Bowl championships, not making the playoffs.
It's an excellent point. We're going to watch the Seahawks drive and keep the conversation flowing on a Thursday night.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back with you right here on SportsGrid. And Gino trying to make a play, doesn't make a play. Certainly you're punting this football because the Bears have not shown the ability to do anything yet in this game. And, Donnie, you were kind of saying we might have an ugly one on our hands.
Yeah, it looks like it, which, again, might provide some opportunities with some really low numbers. Look at the passing props. Geno Smith, who was around the 250 range, he's down to 208.5. Caleb Williams was 215.5 or so. He's now down to 199.5 as they get the football. Just something has to break for the Chicago Bears to get a big play. The offense shouldn't look this bad because, again, Seattle, not a great defense, mid-level. You have a young quarterback that's got a howitzer on his arm, 3 legitimate wide receivers. I know, Joe, you're fired up here on Cole Kmet. Something has to happen here. Stop working on the running game for 3 yards. Give me some play-action passes. Push the football downfield. And also, Caleb, get rid of the ball. How many times have you just watched Caleb running around like trying to play street football in the backfield? Make your decision and be honest with it.
Yeah, terrible. He regressed from the early part of the year in terms of the reads, the progressions. Now he all of a sudden feels pressure, and he doesn't know where to go with the football. That's a huge cause of concern. So we'll see how they look on this drive. 36.5 is the in-game total. We might get to 30.5 if this drive goes 3 and out.
I have a question for you on Caleb.
Yeah.
In the 9-game losing streak, he hasn't thrown an interception. Do you think that means that he is holding on to the ball, scared to make a mistake, not giving guys an opportunity to make plays?
And running, too.
All three.
And running, too. He has ran a lot. It's just he's looked good at times, and he's looked absolutely atrocious. There are times where he looks like Kyler Murray, where he's running 15, 16 yards back from the line of scrimmage and doesn't know where to go with the football.
This has to be a lot to do also with their offensive coordinator at this point, too, because
but that's Thomas Brown.
Yeah, there's too many good skill position players to not make active football plays. Like, there should be, slip screens all over the place, draw plays. Like, nothing is creative right now out of Chicago's offense. I'm not even just talking about tonight in the first 2 series.
But look at these throws, Donnie.
So let me ask you this as DJ Moore makes a nice little play. Pete Carroll is throwing his hat in the ring for the Chicago job. I don't think you can consider it if you're the Bears because you know who always thought Shane Waldron was a good OC?
Yeah,
Pete Carroll. You have to get the offensive coach correct. That is all that matters. You do not need the CEO guy. You need to go get either Ben Johnson or Joe Brady. I honestly wouldn't even hire. Can you not hire a coach if one of those two won't take the job? Go get Cohen out of Tampa Bay, maybe.
Well, what about Kingsbury? I know
wouldn't even look his way.
Right there, that play right there.
It has to be complete.
That's Caleb Williams' entire season right there. Sits in the pocket, dances around a little bit too much, settles down, settles his feet. Wide open play, should be 35-yard gain, airmails it.
Wow.
Off the field, 4th and 6.
34.5
brutal
popping into the market.
You really would look at Kingsbury. I can't believe that.
Again, you can't argue with it. If we're talking coordinators, he's gotten the most out of Jaden Daniels. Hasn't he?
But I think, this is to me where I think you should just give your guy more credit, honestly.
So it's okay, but
because Kingsbury has a very bizarre timeline of coaching in college at Texas Tech. All of a sudden, this guy's coaching the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
That doesn't work. He's at USC. That's not really working.
Right.
Now he's in Washington. For 7 weeks, it was unreal. For 4 weeks, it was, oh, my God, he broke him. And now, obviously, he's coming off a great game.
Right.
I'm not signing up for that if I'm Chicago.
Can I give you one more thing?
Sure.
We forgot about Brady with Rule in Carolina.
I think totally fair. Think about they had Baker.
Right.
They had Darnold. Okay, so everybody that's left Matt Rule's worked out. If I'm Nebraska, I'm taking a look around. No, really. I mean, we talk about what Buffalo being this good. I'm not taking credit away from Josh Allen, but it's not a Josh Allen only thing. Clearly, Brady.
No, Brady's definitely yes.
Has got the goods.
And that's the way he was with Joe Burrow in LSU.
100%.
For whatever reason in Carolina, he struggled. And we could put that on Matt Rule. We could just put that on the situation. But I'm just saying. When
they haven't had good situations.
When we look at Kingsbury,
yeah.
I mean, he's more consistent right now than Slowick, isn't he?
Yeah, no, again, Slowick appears more likely to lose his job than get hired as a head coach.
It's crazy.
Like, that's how bad things are. And I mean,
should have struck while the iron was hot.
Donnie, I know that you bounce around a little.
Yeah.
The Houston situation, the first quarter comes to a close, by the way, 3-0 here. Disaster of a game, but that's all right. We're having fun. But it is the NFL. Throw an NBA game on would be a little better. The Texans situation.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the panic button, you can't even find it. It's been hit so many times on that situation.
It is. And the hard part about it is, again, which the Texans always find themselves in these spots. Remember all the years under Bill O'Brien, 8-8, win the division every year. I guess you're just the charm life in Houston where if you just have a winning season, you automatically dominate that division because nobody can get in your way. But if we are being honest and saying, what's the issue? I don't think it's C.J. Stroud at this point because, again, I always like to say defensive coordinators are some of the smartest people walking around. They'll find what you don't want to do and make you try to do that, which it looks a little bit about what C.J.'s doing. But if we would have saw healthy Nico, healthy Stephon Diggs, healthy Tank Dell the entire season, I think it's completely different. And I don't think those numbers for C.J. Stroud are as low as they are. So I'm not giving him a mulligan on the season. Still won the division, Joe. But this was one of those teams where in the offseason, we were pretty much lining up saying, boy, oh, boy, if you can get the same C.J. Stroud and be a little bit better in his sophomore season with these weapons, Joe, we're talking about taking down Kansas City, not winning the division.
Yeah, agreed. I just think yesterday was a terrible game plan. How you only put up 2 points on Baltimore's defense is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I felt like they didn't cross midfield till like the third quarter.
The Texans situation is tough because last year, without any expectations, going into the playoffs, they felt far more dangerous than this year.
Right.
However, on the other side, if you look at it, Ravens' defense is playing a lot better. It's a shame they don't ever hang real numbers on those teams because, again, people are like, I can't get like, they're like, man, that Ravens team, I'll tell you, man, they're going to be a nightmare when the playoffs start. It's like the worst Lamar team in like 3 years, and every year the playoffs come around and it goes left.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, you can keep stacking up MVPs, though. It's all good. It's just unbelievable. It's going to really bother me. We'll be right back. We're having a good time watching Connor Bazelak warm up.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
How do you find some of this great talent that you've brought in, who are still early in their career, might not have a ton of tape on them yet?
I've been around this business, man, for almost 20 years. So a lot of these guys will tell you that I popped into a lot of gyms, sparred or just worked on the side or, kind of worked out, just watching. I've always loved this sport, man. I think it's the greatest. And we want to continue to put on the next up-and-coming superstars. We know we got them.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
right, live with you right here on SportsGrid. Watching a beauty on Thursday night. We'll try and find some value. It may take a little bit of time within this football game right now. They are running well, though, the Seattle Seahawks here. So I think for them, they're going to be happy to kind of keep this game close to the vest. I'll just say we have seen Caleb and the Bears offense find some level of rhythm as games go on. So you don't want to be up 9-0 at half and then a Bears drive away from it being 9-7. It's just, they got to try and close this out here, Donnie, and make this feel like a dangerous lead.
Exactly. Look, here's what you need for Seattle. Drive down the field, score a touchdown, put the onus onto the Chicago Bears to start pressing some tempo and make it a little bit more fireworks in this game. But the feel of it so far isn't a nice pass by Geno Smith on a first down completion to Lockett. They feel like we're going to be the better team tonight because Chicago can't do much, so let's not push the issue ourselves. Let's just get some points on the board and force Chicago to sort of play from behind. A touchdown here, Joe, could change a lot of ways that Chicago's going to play the rest of this game.
Yeah, they might be more aggressive. I'll just say this in terms of the play calling, that you just saw a first down pass there, but the way Seattle has approached it is run on first down, run on second down, short throws to get the first down, sustain the drive. I think it'll continue that way, Kev. I don't think they're going to open it up and say, let Geno throw it 30, 40 times in this ball game. This is going to be a McIntosh and Charbonnet type of game, and then let's put it on our defense to get some turnovers and force 3 and outs against Caleb.
It'd be really foolish if it wasn't, because they are running well.
Offensive line's playing great.
Your opponent doesn't have it going early. You're going to be able to burn the clock. You're going to be able to take your time. I know it's boring. I know it's boring to run every play. But you're bailing this team out right now when Geno drops back. You just are. He's 7 of 10 for 58 yards. That's 5.8 per attempt. Usually, 5.8 would be an incredible rush attack. It's why passing the football is so valuable. 6.4 yards per carry right now for the Seattle Seahawks running backs. That's not Geno's scrambling. It's not a wide receiver end around. It is the rush attack that is working well. Donnie, if they don't pick up enough yardage here, this is going to end up a punt.
Yeah, but I wonder what the call that was. Was that an illegal formation? Was that going to be an offside right there?
It was
illegal
a shift.
All right, so it looks like they're going to be punting it back. This total is going to really start dropping like a rock if it isn't
28, maybe?
Yeah, 30 and a half right now based on what this play is going to be.
And considering now you're at the 41.
It was offsides, by the way. On the offense.
Oh.
We saw that yesterday. There was a game. I think it's Cam Hayward was offsides for the Steelers in a play.
Punt.
How was he offside?
Punt, 58-yard field goal, or go for it.
Punt.
They'll punt.
Do you agree with that decision?
Yes.
I would.
Team is just done.
Yeah,
it's 4th and 7.
You got to
right?
force the Bears to actually
10,
do something. I'm not going to start the Bears at the 50-yard line when they're struggling to move the football.
I agree. Very rarely, but I agree.
32 and a half's in the market right now.
I'm not running to it. Are you?
No.
In the 20s, you could get me in.
Yeah, I hear you.
28, 29.
I think
at some point you're going to have to get some juice. Otherwise, just wrap it up.
Look at this.
This game is crazy on the bottom. We should be covering that game.
I told you, I bet every bowl game except for ones I didn't realize were going to start, which was the Coastal USC.
Tomorrow is fantastic. Don't talk to me. 7 o'clock, Liberty Bowl. Oh,
yeah.
Texas Tech and Arkansas.
I didn't bet this game. I didn't cap this game. People were tweeting at me, hey, it was like, if you had to, you lean. No lean, no nothing. I have nothing for you. We're here in Jersey. They decide that means I can't bet K-State Rutgers. I have nothing for you. It's one of the most archaic rules going in all of sports.
Look, if I drive by exit
that'll change.
Exit 8A, I guess. You know what I mean? Might have influence coming up here. Could pass. Hey, look, there's Rutgers over there. Can't bet it. Watch out.
By the way, this kid Dylan Edwards right now, Lisi, Colorado transfer.
Yeah.
18 for 196 and 2 scores.
What a rocket. Rutgers is winning this game by ease.
This total was in the 40s today.
Pre-game?
Yeah, they doubled it.
Lisa, can I get you on Cole Kmet 11.5 yards?
Stop. I'm already in.
So I might join you in a minute.
Come on.
All right, wait. You know what?
Go in.
I'm joining you.
Whoa!
Yeah. solidarity, people.
That's it.
Donnie
Cool.
Liveside.
Yep. Donnie Liveside. I
First
love it.
play?
Let's get
Do we have a first play bet here? No, it's locked up.
I got the profit boost. 25 live.
What are you going to look to use it on?
I don't know. I'm thinking about the total if it gets ripe, tangy.
Looking at Caleb's passing for the quarter. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Caleb passing in the quarter. We're going to get in the mix. We're hanging out.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans, bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
How do you find some of this great talent that you've brought in, who are still early in their career, might not have a ton of tape on them yet?
I've been around this business, man, for almost 20 years. So a lot of these guys will tell you that I popped into a lot of gyms, sparred or just worked on the side or, kind of worked out, just watching. I've always loved this sport, man. I think it's the greatest. And we want to continue to put on the next up-and-coming superstars. We know we got them.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, we're placing action here on SportsGrid. I just took Caleb Williams for 50-plus yards in the quarter. He is at 0 currently. Maybe I can get one of the dump-off screens, Donnie, the oh-by-the-ways here. This drive could be the start of something special. We'll see.
It could be. It's actually a good out ball right there to sort of try to salvage a third down play. DJ Moore seems to be leading the targets here for the Chicago Bears, which you don't mind. But the game feels like it's 17-0, and it's only 3-0 right now because the Chicago Bears struggling to do anything. But also, Joe, elite arm talent at quarterback, elite wide receivers. And you say, oh, they're not. No, they have good wide receivers. One of the better wide receiving cores, technically on paper in the NFL. Use them.
No.
Don't they get open downfield? What
Everything is
here?
sideline to sideline. Bubble screens. It's ridiculous. They haven't taken a kill shot, seam routes, post patterns. Haven't seen that.
There was the one deep to Roma Dunze where he missed it.
But it was open.
Yeah, but let's not go back to it because it was open.
This would be a huge. Oh, he's wide open. Oh,
good play.
Could bring the whole thing home here. Make a man miss.
He is.
Whoa, Nelly.
There we go.
All right.
Got some juice now. We got some juice.
Turn this game around. See?
Nice screenplay there.
They were hanging 29.5s.
On who?
On the total.
On now?
Yeah.
Get in now.
What do you like? If
His
they score,
total was 12.5.
If they score
Swift.
a touchdown,
Yeah.
do they go to favorites?
No.
I don't think so. What a bad pass, but the flag's down, so that's probably going to be on the defense, right? Was that even an interception they called or no? Incomplete? Kobe Bryant? There we go. Moving the football. All right. Here we go.
I just went in 29.5
total.
In-game total.
I like it, Lisi.
I mean,
too many players on defense.
Wow, great job by Caleb taking a shot. No?
Yeah.
Anyone? Compliments? Give it a shot?
Sure.
On what?
Trying to compliment Caleb. Look at the way he's holding the ball. He's going to drive people
pointing
crazy.
out 12 men on the field.
He is going to drive people crazy his whole career.
Yeah.
His whole career, he's going to drive people crazy. Donnie, I didn't get your take on Pete Carroll potentially with the Bears job.
No, stupid. Pete Carroll will be taking a job where it's like it's a complete, utter rebuild. We just need a steady hand for 2 years before we pass it over. Not a team that actually has the players in place. Absolutely not.
1st and 5 run call.
Look at that. Moving the sticks.
Yeah.
Swifty.
All right, let's get it. Let's get some
We
points.
need a touchdown pass. Come on.
Yeah.
Trying to think about who I want to take. Like, if I were Bears fans, who would I really want? Like, is it just Ben Johnson? Is it just Ben Johnson?
All you're looking for is an elite offensive coordinator to come take your head coaching job. That's all you're looking for in Chicago.
I
had to pick of 50 million coaches last year. Like, you know what? Eberflus another year. Horrible decision.
But, like, is Ben? I mean, yes, that was a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Ben Johnson, I don't know. Like, is Joe Brady going to get? I would not hire Vrabel. Would you? You're high on Vrabel. Would you hire Vrabel?
No, like it sounds stupid. Like you need the elite offensive talent to coach the Bears. Like Vrabel, I do think is a very good head coach, but you saw his MO for a decade in Tennessee. Let's play good defense. We'll hammer the football. I love Ryan Tannehill type quarterbacks. That's not the coach for me in this spot. And Cliff Kingsbury, I'd rather have over Vrabel.
You can't have a defensive-minded coach for Chicago. Can't. You had Eberflus. You had Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
I know Lovie took him to a Super Bowl, but you can't do that. You have to go offense. Somebody that can open it up, that has a good mind. Ben Johnson, I don't think goes.
Offense.
Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury, Brady, somebody in that mold.
Yeah. I think
even Cohen from Tampa Bay would be a.
I still want to know if they could call Lincoln and get him to take the job. Lincoln Riley of USC, that is.
He's losing players left and right, so.
And not gaining them back, really.
I told you that, right?
Listen, I know that you've had an eye on it, and my mind.
But where's the quarterback,
wonder,
by the way, too? Hasn't even gotten the quarterback.
But that is why I am wondering. Man, these tunnel screens got something.
Yeah, they got something on paper, huh? There we go, DJ Moore. What is DJ up to now? Let's see.
50? Maybe more than that?
37.
3 for 37, yeah. Yep.
That should be
50 spot?
50.
Yeah.
I believe he was at 11 at the time of the place.
Good.
So he's up to 63. Yeah, so I should be clean now, which would be great. What were we just talking about? Oh, DRS, where would you land on Lincoln Riley, Bears head coach?
No, I don't know.
Just missed his window?
Yeah.
For all that?
I think he missed the red-hot window at this point now.
It's incredible. 2 years ago would have been the three, maybe, higher of the world.
And you figure it was the perfect move to let me get out of the SEC, let me get out to the Pac-12. Like, now you're going to be in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have to tell your kids we've got to travel thousands of miles every week to play.
Let me throw another name out there.
Go ahead.
Kellen Moore. And I only said that because it's the Eagles' offense is humming.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know how much of it you look at and then go, this is all Kellen Moore. In my opinion, I just think there's way more guys who have stood out before I would get to Kellen Moore. I think so. I don't know. Do you feel that Kellen Moore's a top candidate? I don't.
No, not yet. Not yet, because I think he had that, glamour position with the Dallas Cowboys where they got rid of him. Like, oh, he's going to go and have a great performance with the Chargers, but they were so banged up he didn't. Now he's with the Eagles, and just like everybody with the Eagles associated, well, they're so talented that the coaches don't really matter, and it's not really going to make a difference here. Like, that's what it feels like. So I don't think yet is that. But also, talking about the Bears last year, one of the best free agent coaching markets you could possibly ever have, with anybody looking at that Bears job going like, this is the primo job in the NFL, whereas like the easy decision is call Michigan and say, Jim, we know you want to get back into it. You're a legend in Chicago already. What a perfect fit would have been. Like, yeah, it's not our guy. Eberflus looks like we're going to bring him back. Like, nobody thought bringing back Eberflus was a good idea. Not even Bears players, probably.
Yeah, it was terrible. They set the organization back.
Can I throw a name? Just listen again. They're driving here.
Oh, that's Cole Kmet. Oh, no, it
isn't.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Gerald Everett?
Is that Devin White?
Gerald Everett?
They traded in game, I think, for DK Metcalf. Look like Just because we're talking about coaches, you guys think Brian Flores gets a look? I mean, he couldn't be doing a better job, could he, in Minnesota?
Yeah.
But obviously I ask it because of everything that comes with it. Yeah. I'm aware.
And you got to understand, like, he's doing such a good job with Minnesota, and there's no smoke out there. Usually you get the smoke at this point right now. Like, look at the job he's doing, and somebody will plant that story. This guy's going to be sought after. We're not getting any of that right now.
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job.
He's doing a great job.
I wish part of me wishes he was still with the Dolphins.
I wonder if he wishes Darnold, like, he just gets out of town as a bad quarterback at this point.
He probably beats up that. That might be why Sam Darnold's actually thriving, because he's just been getting beat up by Flores in practice all season long.
Is Conway out there? What's going on?
I don't know. Offense is having major problems.
Ez White, who was there before, too, as a wideout? Was that a wideout name, I want to say?
There was Curtis Conway.
Yeah.
There was
Kevin White? Are you talking about?
No, Kevin White. Who was the other guy? Was there a Dez in there?
Lisi, like, all of a sudden you pick your head up. They're playing about as well as Seattle is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This game has got like 9-6 all over it. It's scary.
But you love 29.5.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
I mean, right now.
By the way, just quickly, if you'd like to get involved, Harold Fannin. I took him for 125-plus receiving. There's a little free bet on the 200-plus receiving.
Yeah.
Everybody's hunting down the 9.5 receptions. And I'm laying the 10. I know you are as well, Lisi, in that game coming up. Whoa!
Well, yeah, flag. I like Bowling Green. Basilak, and to your point, I think they're the more complete team. Arkansas State has some issues in terms of rush defense. Secondary giving up 234 in the back end. Should be a big day for Bowling Green.
Arkansas State gives up the 6th most yards per play. The 5 teams lower than them are a combined 8 and 52 on the season. We'll be right back.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all. Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Back to right here, SportsGrid. We're all knotted up. 3-3. Seattle down to a 2.5-point favorite at -140. Books are not huge believers in Seattle at this moment, and I don't blame them. Caleb Williams had a beautiful throw for a touchdown pass to Rome Odunze called back, which would have made this game 6-3 extra point pending, potentially 7-3. A holding penalty did make the difference there. You know, I'm looking at this game now. I mean, Lisi, under the guidelines of what have you done for me lately here, I like where Chicago sits.
Yeah, I mean, put the pressure on Seattle, right? They started to throw the football. They ran it. They got it positive yards. They didn't convert the way they wanted with the touchdown, but they get the field goal. Now Caleb is in a rhythm. So, I mean, his passing total was 186.5 before that drive. So he's on pace for like 250 again.
You know what I'm looking forward to in this, too? Caleb Williams has now dropped to 14.5 rushing yards. So I want to say, obviously, I don't think
you're going to take it.
I think I'm going to wait till the half because I don't think there's any way that the Bears get the football back where he's running at this point with this time frame. So I think I'm going to wait till the half. Maybe it drops down to that 12.5 range because I do think when the pressure starts mounting in this game where you have to make plays, I think he's going to start to run a bit.
Now, does Geno go into a little bit of a rhythm here? Because he's got a cheap total. 202. Well, he had 202.5, depending upon how this drive plays out.
So I'm now looking at this. Like, Geno's about to drop back. Hurry up. Here comes the pick. I mean, just the way he's been throwing in this game.
They're still hanging at 29.5 here.
Because this is clearly a throwing situation, right? But, boy, has he not been trustworthy in this game. Good decision to run it on first.
Yeah, 2-minute warning get above there. Good game by Charbonnet so far.
Yeah, he's been excellent.
He's on pace for 100 now. Right?
Probably. 40 yards.
Got
some flags out here. DK's about to get tossed. Oop, there's another one.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, DK. You don't have Metcalf anything?
No.
I have him in the 50. That's not good.
Would it help you then if he got tossed?
Look at him off to the side, upset. Calm him down.
Oh,
let's see what happens. Any punches
things.
thrown? We get any punches? Let's see. Well, a little anger. Push.
Pop.
Pop again. Push. 3 shots.
Nah, that's nothing.
To end the headbutt. We get 2 personal fouls on one.
15 yards.
But if you are calling personal fouls, there's 2 of them there.
That's 30 yards?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that you get ejected, right?
I imagine it's all one incident.
Just on Metcalf?
Yeah, like that's all one play, if you will.
Yeah. Moving back 15 yards. So maybe the Bears are going to get the football back here.
Wow.
Did they only call it on Metcalf?
Only
though?
on Metcalf, yeah.
That's good. Well, I don't like in the NFL when everybody gets 15.
Yes. Or 1 for one team and 6 for the other, somehow offsetting penalties.
Yeah. You got to parse through.
It was a 2nd and 1. Now it's 2nd and 16. Unbelievable.
Run it again.
You know what I say? Feed him.
Charbonnet?
No. Metcalf. Next go around. Feed him the rock.
Well, DK's telling him he's got him. Look at this. Stevenson, UM. Go.
Say?
Jason Peters over there?
Is that him?
I don't know.
It has to be, right?
He's not that. He can't be. He's not shorter than DK. Jason Peters. That goes a mammoth, right?
DK Metcalf's big. Is it big?
That can't be. Is that him?
It's got to be
stealing checks still.
I was about to ask that question. I'm like, well, he's not a coach on the Seahawks. I didn't understand the
He is. I think it is him. I think it is him too. Yeah. Look at him. He should be paying money to be on the sideline at this point, man. He was one of the best offensive linemen in the league and then just stole money for a decade straight somehow. It doesn't make any sense.
Started as a tight end.
Donnie has been talking about Peters doing nothing for a long time now. I mean, he is essentially holding a clipboard over there.
But he goes to football teams.
No, it's not George Fant. It can't be. It looks just like him.
He's on Seattle. But like he is notorious for, I'm ready to go this week, and 3 plays in, he hobbles off to the sideline, never to be seen again, and then some other team picks him up.
I mean, he's on the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think it might be him. Yeah. With sunglasses on at night, knowing he's got no shot to ever play, but he's collecting checks. Still, though, how much money does that guy need? The top offensive tackle in the NFL for like a decade plus. He's still hanging out? Wow.
How much does he? Being a little greedy, Lisa.
Yeah.
So that's something for the rest of us.
I loved him in college.
He wasn't even an offensive tackle, though.
No, it was a tight end at Arkansas.
He was any
With
good?
Houston Nutt. Big boy.
Make some money off of
one of the better Eagles trades in history. First-round draft pick gave up for...
Wasn't he with the Dolphins
with the
at
Buffalo
one
Bills?
point?
He was the Buffalo Bills.
I think he was with the Dolphins at one point. I could be wrong.
Oh, wait. You know what? After he left...
Yeah.
He was probably after.
Oh, yeah.
He could probably say any team.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? He might have been. Panthers, maybe.
He made the
Rams,
rounds.
maybe.
Where are we in this game?
2-minute warning, right?
Third and second. Oh, the clock kept running, I see.
Charbonne's got 49 yards. Is that what he's up to now?
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Still hanging at 29.5. We got 6 points. It's odd.
Huh.
We're gonna get 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
How would that be?
How is that possible? 3 touchdowns and a field goal. The way this game is going,
They have to
it's plus 104 to the over.
Open it up.
You think you're going to get a field goal before this half is out?
If I had
Yes.
a bet,
I'd say yes.
I say no. I say we get nothing.
I think they're... So what do we have? Third and what coming up? 9?
Second and 16.
Second and 16.
Oh.
They'll use their timeouts, though, Chicago.
Block it down here, Lisi. Bowling Green, Arkansas State backers. Yes.
That's all right. We'll give them the
ran a lot of time off the clock.
Hold on, wait. DRS. Odds for Fannin to catch a pass on this upcoming drive.
First play, yes. First play, yes.
What's going on? They're
I
still
don't know.
fighting?
First play, run play. That's what I'm waiting to see.
We throwing flags out here?
They're going
after the
nuts in this game.
What are they getting crazy about?
Down at 28.5, Lisi. They clipped it.
Not yet. We'll jump in at 26.
Is this the play where they throw to DK short just so he can run into that DB and cause a big fracas?
All right, we'll be right back on SportsGrid. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all. Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
right, back right here on SportsGrid. And Seattle was able to convert that second and long into a first down. Now they've got themselves, Donnie, set up for 2nd and 6 at the Chicago 33 with 2 timeouts remaining. I don't, it's not a field goal only situation. They should be trying to score here.
No, they should. And I guess the worry is Geno Smith's going to make the right decisions. 10 of 14 from the field tonight, 97 yards. Should have had an interception, but doesn't have one right now. You saw DK Metcalf finally getting back into the game after that personal foul, which they converted, which was 2nd and 1 to a 2nd and 16. That's good for momentum. And also, you do want a touchdown scored if you had prop bets for Chicago, which means they'll be down at the break, and then you can look forward to that.
Any points would help us right now, right? Even 6-3. Hate to say it, rooting on the touchdown, but 6-3 still hopefully opens up in terms of the second half. The throws short, a lot of delays to Noah Fant in terms of that. He's gotten involved. Geno could have a big second half. Got to keep an eye out.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I will be checking in. I just have a feeling there are a lot of people tonight, if they can bet college player props, who are out the window on the Harold Fannin. It's rare you get a situation where it's like he needs 12 for history in what's labeled a meaningless bowl game where let's just do it. You're playing one of the worst defenses at the FBS level who happen to make a bowl game. So if this is him, I mean, you've been talking about, all right, wrong guy.
Game plan's wrong. Game plan's already wrong.
So,
Bait it.
A.J. Brown goes in the huddle. All right, listen, that was fun. Never again. Get me the ball. Donnie, if they don't get him the rock here on play 1, we got to be
looking for a live number.
We're going to be here for a while.
A little rainy now in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's good for tight ends. It's good
for
quarterbacks.
But he doesn't even look. He doesn't
look at the
even
range,
look.
Joe. Look at it.
Yeah, that's not good. Dead under. Now, here we go. Dead to rights. Got to get points.
Is that him?
Screen.
Oh,
Zero?
DRS. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Rocket screen.
Yep.
Like, they don't hang it, obviously. This is where it's like it's a college bowl game.
Yeah.
Like, catch a pass each drive. Just click all game.
His number was 107 and a half.
I played him for 125 plus.
I have.
Did you take any piece of Fannin?
No.
All right.
I'll root it in for you.
Yeah.
Good looks.
I'm on Jason Patterson, 80 yards on the ground.
Come on, let's get the running game going here.
Figure out.
Can we get the running game going here in Seattle again? Nope, timeout. How do you feel about that?
What do you need out of the running game, Donnie?
Nothing.
Okay.
That's why I'm joking with them at this point here. Rain's coming down a little bit harder in this game, so maybe a field goal could be a little bit tougher in the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you can't run it here on 3rd and 5, can you?
No.
But it's a 49-yard field goal. I guess what? Still NFL chip shot?
Yeah, they run this is going to be ridiculous at this point. A little fade route, Joe. We're either going over the middle or we're taking a shot at the end zone.
JSN,
one or the other.
DK.
What do you need on the Seattle side?
Just DK. I need
nothing on shit.
31
touchdown
yards.
Pass.
Don't you have JSN? I made that up completely.
Yeah, no, I liked JSN tonight, but I didn't take any prop bets to start. Which his number's going to be fantastic at the half. He's got 7 yards now.
DK has 19. I have him for 50 plus.
Okay.
What was that?
Nothing.
Yeah, batted at the line.
This game is ugly.
We're going to get any touchdown.
We might be getting 20s in regards to the total.
All right, now listen, I shouldn't be clapping.
Punt return?
Punt return touchdown, Arkansas State, 10-0 for the double-digit dog. Now, the -10 is obviously not off to a great start.
No.
However, trailing situation, Fannin bomb. Let me see if they're hanging a live prop. Let's see.
Just for kicks?
No.
They got to get back to basics. Run the football.
You got to throw it even more.
I say run it.
Throw it more.
Run it. Jason Patterson.
Listen, I know I'm talking to you probably, Donnie, too much about this Bowling Green game as the field goal's in.
Yeah.
Bowling Green goes into a game with a tight end chasing history. And Lisi bet the running back for 90 yards.
They give up 220 rushing yards per game, almost 6 yards per rush.
He's fading the opportunity.
How do you want to attack it?
With the tight end who's chasing history.
Yeah.
Now, what would have been better if Joe took like a wide receiver as opposed to a tight end tonight? Yeah.
All eyes are on Fannin.
Yep.
Right.
We go this way.
Right. And he did take a shot to the wide out.
Yeah, but so far all the
they're going to start to run it. Watch Patterson.
I'll first play from scrimmage.
Drive.
Do the Bears take this into the locker room with 2 timeouts?
Probably.
Nah,
21 seconds.
Let's get foolish in the rain. Why not? Dump it off the commit.
All right, you're going to get your halftime show with Tom Vecchio on the other side of a Seattle Seahawks Chicago Bears Thursday nighter. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every...
Having a lot of fun. I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Road management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We got the NBA Cup going on. Not that anybody really cares per se about the NBA Cup. Now, I got to be honest with you. I actually did try to look of like, okay, like what does it mean like for the NBA Cup? Like who's playing for what here? I lost interest and I gave up after about 30 seconds. And I was like, you know what? Whatever, dude. There's NBA games.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
He also said that the Bears head coaching opening would be the most coveted job after the season.
They'll let that guy stay. I heard today that they were very worried about screwing up Caleb Williams, so that he likes this guy Brown so much that they may let him stay as the head coach. What a disaster that'll turn into.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
What's going on, and welcome to Pro Football Today. Halftime show. My name is Tom Vecchio. Thursday night football. Seahawks leading the Bears 6-3, 9 total points in the first half. Not necessarily what myself, Adam Kaufman, Dave Sherapan on the pregame show, what we were expecting. We're expecting a modest amount of scoring overall. I will say we have seen some decent production when it comes to some of the players in the prop department. And, we got to remember that the Seahawks, they settled for a 27-yard field goal. They could have easily punched that in. And then the Bears did have a touchdown called back due to a penalty. So the teams have been moving the balls. We just haven't been getting the touchdowns. Again, 6-3 in favor of the Seahawks. The live line has plummeted it to 28.5. Currently, it's minus 114 on both sides. And the Seahawks currently sit at minus 3.5 on that live spread. You can take the Bears at plus 3.5. It is juice at minus 120. Again, we've seen decent production, at least from the offenses in terms of yardage for some players. We're just not getting the touchdown production. It is important to note that the Bears, they will be getting the ball coming out of halftime. The Seahawks opened up the game with a field goal on that first drive. We'll run through some of these players real quick. Zach Charbonnet, really solid role so far on the ground for the Seahawks, coming in with 9 carries and 50 yards. Also seen Kenny McIntosh involved with 5 carries, 37 of his own. Noah Fant right now not only leading the Seahawks with 40 yards, he actually leads all receivers in this game, 3 catches for 40 yards. Tyler Lockett is up at 3-20. DK, despite being involved in some nonsense, is at 2-19. And then JSN, surprisingly, only 1 catch for 7 yards. He does have 3 targets, which would put him second on the team. This all gives Geno Smith 97 passing yards so far in the first half. He could have easily had an interception on that drive where they got stalled and had to settle for that 27-yard field goal. On the other side, Caleb Williams, 82 yards so far in the first half. DeAndre Swift not doing too much on the ground, 6 carries, 17 yards. We're seeing the production from DJ Moore, which is exactly what Adam and I specifically spoke about on the pregame show, where he's picking up a lot of short passes, 3 catches, 37 yards. They'd like to get the ball to him quick and then run after the catch. DeAndre Swift also getting involved in the passing game with 3 catches for 29 yards. Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze both really haven't done too much. Odunze had the 2 targets. He doesn't come down with the catch. Keenan Allen could have very easily had another catch. Only has the 1 for 16 yards. So we're seeing the offenses move the ball a little bit. Again, I am slightly optimistic that we're going to see more scoring in the second half just based on how the teams move the ball but weren't able to convert. They were running essentially on the bad side of variance, the penalty, the inefficiency from the Seahawks in the red zone, as we've kind of seen all season. Hopefully we see the other side of that, and we will push over the 28.5 points. Obviously, this will likely keep a lot of our props alive if we do see a bit more scoring. Caleb Williams' live line is sitting at 201. Geno Smith is sitting at 198.5. Obviously, far lower for Geno Smith comparatively to where his line opened up. Vinny, if we have the QB graphic, Caleb Williams' line was 215 or so. He's sitting at 201, so he's kind of roughly on pace for that. But Geno at 198.5 live line. His pregame line was sitting at 248.5. So if you took the under on that, expecting this to be a running game for the Seahawks overall, you are looking in a good spot. I will say if you took the under and his live line is sitting at 198, there is a little bit of room to find the middle, under 248 pregame, finding the over 198 in-game. When it comes to the receivers, we have seen players dramatically change their lines dramatically change compared to where they were pregame. JSN notably for the Seahawks, only 7 receiving yards, like I said, in the first half. His live line is sitting at 35.5. It is minus 113 to the over, minus 118 to the under, only 7 yards again. Expecting him to play a much bigger role as they continue to move forward. They have been pretty effective at running the ball. The Charbonnet-McIntosh combo, especially on that opening drive, like 48-plus rushing yards on the opening drive alone, really moving the ball nicely. Would I expect Keenan Allen and DJ Moore to continue to play those big roles? Sure, but Rome Odunze at 19.5, if you're on him pregame, I would say it's not the worst opportunity to get back in on him at 19.5. He just needs to come down with those catches, then he should be able to get there. We spoke on the pregame show that he's routinely picking up 15, 16, 18-yard catches over the past few weeks. The one I think a lot of people may be looking to is Noah Fant. He's sitting at 40 yards right now. His line is sitting at 51.5. It's minus 118 to the under, minus 110 to the over. With 3 catches for 40 yards, he only needs 12 more yards to pass this. So maybe you weren't on Noah Fant. I wasn't. I'm not on him. I'm not on Tyler Lockett. I see these options as, they're falling behind in terms of the offensive target share overall, where there are games where one or both of them get pushed out of the overall volume of passing yards because we see JSN and sometimes DK Metcalf play a big role overall. So that's where I'd be looking. Let's see what Zach Charbonnet's line is. He's sitting at 11. His line is 20.5, minus 110 to the over, minus 118 to the under. I don't mind Charbonnet's line, especially some of these flat routes that they have him coming out of the backfield. If the pressure is going to be getting to Geno, he's not moving 100% well. You can tell with the knee thing on that one rollout. It looked like he was a little hesitant to run the ball when he tried to flip it out there to the near sideline. I wouldn't mind the Charbonnet over 20.5 receiving yards. If you don't have a ton of action on him or you're looking to get more, I certainly wouldn't mind going there. It just was 110 to the over. It is now minus 114, so a very, very minor change, but of course, still important to note. The Charbonnet line for rushing is at 79.5. I'm not sold on that. I would be more interested in Kenny McIntosh. He's sitting at 53.5. His live line, he's sitting at 37 yards currently, and that's only on, 6 carries coming out of the backfield, 5 carries coming out of the backfield for Kenny McIntosh. So a bit of a split backfield between Charbonnet and McIntosh could lead to one of these players, potentially Zach Charbonnet, not hitting the over on his rushing prop, his rushing plus receiving, whatever it might be. And if you're looking to get a little bit of action on Kenny McIntosh, who would be eating into that production if Charbonnet's not hitting his prop, this could be a way to get some of the rushing production and try and cash at least one bet out of those. So again, it's 6-3 at halftime in favor of the Seahawks. a lot of missed opportunities for both offenses. Let's just call it what it is. Seahawks has now flipped the line a little bit, minus 3.5 in their favor. It's now minus 120 to take that. It was minus 120 on the side of the Bears. Again, 28.5 over under, minus 115 laying that juice to take over 28.5. Again, I'm optimistic that we are going to be seeing some scoring in the second half. There's a little bit of rain. There's not a whole lot of wind. It really shouldn't be affecting things too much as we move throughout the rest of the game. Hopefully that does subside a little bit. We do continue to see the offenses moving the ball overall. When it comes to live touchdown scores, because obviously these odds are dramatically changed compared to where we saw them pregame. If we have the touchdown graphic, we can throw that up real quick, because Zach Charbonnet was the only player sitting at minus money for a touchdown, and he's currently sitting at plus 180 for a touchdown. It was minus 165. He is sitting at plus 180. Even DeAndre Swift, who Dave spoke about, who's pretty high on at plus 170, he's now up at plus 350, and the list goes on with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore up at plus 430, plus 440, JSN at plus 440, et cetera, et cetera. So all these players have dramatically shifted their odds. There are various books have in-game touchdown boosts or whatever it might be. So always look for those. If you're big on Charbonnet pregame and you didn't want to lay the minus 160 or minus 165 odds, you can take the boost up at plus 180, boost it up to over 200. That would be a spot to look. I know I personally took some DeAndre Swift from some Zach Charbonnet live, A, because they're going to be involved, and B, going up against them in various fantasy matchups. I at least want to cash in a little bit something if they do happen to score. So 6-3 at halftime. We're coming up against a break in about a minute. Again, I am optimistic that we will see more scoring in the second half compared to what we saw in the first. It is the line, the halftime line, first half line was Seahawks minus 2.5. So that cashes there. The under obviously hits. We're only dealing with 9 points. The under, if you took it on the game overall, under 42.5 or under 42, that is tracking very, very well now, 28.5. But again, more scoring in the second half is what we should be seeing. The teams have moved the ball well in the first half. Who gets involved? Who scores? Hopefully we do see a little bit of Charbonnet. We do see some more from JSN. DJ Moore continue to be involved along with Keenan Allen. Keep the ball to the main players. And again, the Seahawks, not a must-win game like we discussed on the pregame show, but they need to get the offense moving with confidence into the final. We're coming up against the break right now for the halftime show.
As the candles flicker, a new tradition shines. 8 nights of Hanukkah, 8 nights of winning insights.
But they may come out slow, so you might be able to get a better number. Wow, they're favored.
With SportsGrid, every night is another chance to win.
No pick sixes today, they cover.
So let's crunch it up. Let's make it happen. Let's give you our favorite props.
Let your Hanukkah winnings brighten your celebrations. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
How do you find some of this great talent that you've brought in, who are still early in their career, might not have a ton of tape on them yet?
I've been around this business, man, for almost 20 years. So a lot of these guys will tell you that I popped into a lot of gyms, sparred or just worked on the side or, kind of worked out, just watching. I've always loved this sport, man. I think it's the greatest. And we want to continue to put on the next up-and-coming superstars. We know we got them.
Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
What's going on, and welcome back to Pro Football Today. Halftime show. My name is Tom Vecchio again. 6-3 in favor of the Seahawks. The live line is sitting at 28.5. I am here. I'm throwing it right back to in-game live with Kevin, Donnie, and Joe. I will be back after the game, recapping game, whatever we may get from it, and previewing the Saturday slate, the Sunday slate. Highly important games for playoff positioning, seeding, whatever it might be, contracted for different players and teams, whatever it might be. But in-game live is taking it back over for the second half of Seahawks Bears. Again, I'm optimistic that we'll continue to see more scoring. Stay tuned.
Back right here on SportsGrid, Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside, and Joe Lisi. We have the second half of Bears Seahawks getting underway here. Any halftime action, fellas?
I didn't take anything just yet. I'm waiting on the total, see if we could get it into the low 20s from here, and then I'll jump in. I'm still on Komet and some of the secondary players. I have DK, like I said, so just sitting right now.
Time to see those wheels from the quarterback. I went over 12.5 yards here for Caleb Williams at the half, which, again, I still have Cole Komet, which I did take in-game live at 11.5, I believe it was. Was it 11.5, 12.5, something in that range, but not looking for big numbers here in the second half. Just do something out here, offenses. My goodness.
Yeah, I'm still rooting on some pregame positions that are off to a solid start here. I didn't see odds for Bears' first play from scrimmage. I would have played a little bit of a run. That's certainly what I'm expecting. I just want to add this. Now, I am a pessimist with my bets. I've accepted that. However, I mentioned that the Harold Fannin Jr. tracker is something that we would look to activate on this show. On drive number 2, we caught a ball for -1 yard, which is basically what Donnie said this game could look like. And then he caught one for 23. And that 23-yard reception clinched him the single-season record for receiving yards. That record talked a lot less about because he needed 11 yards. It was obvious it was always going to happen. Fannin Jr. left the game after that. I'm just saying, if he doesn't come back in, you are talking about a total wipeout in terms of wagers. This is a guy whose yards opened up in the 80s, 90s, receptions opened up 6.5, 7.5, and were smashed to smithereens. I know I'm talking about the 68 Ventures Bowl, but you had history. You know the way people, Donnie, next week will be betting those incentive props, Week 18. You had that on steroids. There's a chance he's going to cash every single under now if he doesn't come back in this game.
Yeah, but also it is interesting that he had 2 in sight, but one was a formality. It's like, the more important one is the yardage than the catches itself.
Yeah.
And maybe if the catches was 8, he'd stay in there. But I guess their game plan wasn't just get this guy 13 catches. Doesn't matter what happens in the bowl game, so be it. But it's interesting. Now, did they dap him up, though, because he broke the 1 record, which is something, yes, that could happen?
Yeah, I didn't, the helmet was on. He was on the sideline. It wasn't a number of plays ran without. But again, I'm also, I'm scrolling Twitter. Nobody appears to be talking about it. It could be a me thing.
No, it's probably a you thing then at that point, because you do get dapped up when you break a record because everybody knows coming into the game what those records were. Hey, man, awesome stuff, man. All-time leader right now. Of course. So maybe you're reading into it a little bit much.
Yeah.
We will find out. Lisi, what a drive.
Jeez.
By Chicago.
Woo! 26.5 in-game total. So think about this. They had 9 points. They were still hanging at 28.5, 29, which the algo and the book is trying to tell you still need 3 touchdowns in the second half. At around 22, 23, that would be a number I would jump in on. Give me 3 more points discount. I would jump in.
I just think Seattle just might head to the ground.
Johnny,
I'm not saying the rest of the way.
Let's say Seattle could get to 17. Can you get 13, 10 points out of Chicago?
You should, but how quickly are we getting to that 17 for Seattle?
Well, they have at least.
Isn't this a run? I couldn't. They're not really hanging them on FanDuel. Sorry to cut you off, fellas, but
that's all right.
Is there any world that they throw this on first down?
I think
up
they
3,
would.
the way the game's been going.
The way they moved in terms of right before the half, they might start coming out a little more aggressive.
Okay. I would be pretty surprised. I don't have any money on it. So.
I thought the drive by Caleb and the play call was absolutely atrocious there.
Yeah.
3rd and 2 back up, running back up the middle.
Yeah.
At a shotgun, no less.
Terrible.
I mean, the whole thing looks atrocious. Wow, you're right, Lacey. You were absolutely spot on there.
And we got a little bit of a rhythm. The throws aren't deep. So, again, you're looking at a time-consuming drive.
In the rain.
Let's say they get 3. 9, 3, 12. This total might be 24, 23 and a half, if that.
Mm-hmm. Donnie,
it's a good number.
What are the passing touchdown props for these two quarterbacks? Is that
it's got to be ultra low now? Like
plus
coming into the game, it was minus 225, boosted to plus 100.
Plus 130
see a touchdown in this game.
Yeah, plus 130 for Geno. Even money on Caleb.
Yeah.
Man, you want to talk about a moonshot? Like Caleb 7-1 for 2 of them. Geno plus 880.
Yeah, they're not bad because sooner or later somebody's going to have to score a touchdown, and you figure at least one of the quarterbacks is going to get 1, which puts you in the ballpark to get 2 if that's possible. But you see the dump off on play number 1 for Seattle, run the football, lose yards on play number 2. There's no rhythm to the game because Seattle isn't even forcing themselves to get into the rhythm. In Chicago, no idea what they're doing on offense at this point.
Thoughts on Charbonnet? It was around plus 210 to score.
Yeah, if we get a touchdown, my goodness.
Yeah.
They're hanging plus 188 on Caleb to throw an interception. 235 on Geno.
Geno's second half rush yards were a half of a yard. He's picked up about 15.
Wow.
He's the runner tonight, Joe. I like good, though. Let's get some points. My goodness. Get a drive together. Get a field goal to make it at least a touchdown game. Force some issues out here.
I'm considering the Charbonnet number. I mean, I don't think McIntosh would be in line to steal the goal line work.
I don't think he will. No. By the way, another 10 yards out there, Geno. What are we leaving him out there for?
Doesn't need the game. Not even looking for it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? All right. We're going to grab a break with you right here, though. We're following the second half live on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Back right here on SportsGrid, Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside, Joe Lisi. Let's dive in here a little bit. We nearly had an explosive play with Geno Smith getting a strip sack fumble. Recovered, though, by Seattle. Stops Chicago from getting good field positioning, and instead they have terrible field positioning. The ball's going to be at the 16-yard line. Seattle up 3, lays 3.5 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. 22.5 total, Lisi.
Yeah, so I jumped on the 22.5. I thought it was too low. I need 2 touchdowns to get through the numbers. Seems like a tough ask. Short field turnovers. The way the rain is coming in, I think it's a pretty good number now to jump in on the total.
Yeah, look, it's really low at this point, and again, sooner or later, somebody's going to have to score a touchdown. At least we think.
Well, we think at least one team will get a touchdown, right? I mean,
issue.
You're right there, right? I mean, we get a touchdown before the end of the third quarter. Now you're looking potentially 25, 26, even maybe 27 in-game total.
You're getting monster numbers now in anytime touchdown. Prop market, Zach Charbonnet, plus 260, Swift, plus 550. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. We're not talking about, cheap players out here. Keenan, 6-1. DJ Moore, 6-1. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 6-1. DK, plus 850.
What about Geno, the way he's running, 19-1?
What? To score an
anytime touchdown. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're saying it.
I'm saying it. It's a huge number.
How about if you took both Caleb and Geno for a little dabble each side quarterbacks? 18-1 and 20-1. I'm not saying parlay it.
Well, that's why it's not interesting to him. You're not
Parlay it.
giving him enough.
Yeah.
Anyone interested in Charbonnet?
Touchdown, 8-1.
Charbonnet rushing at all? He's at 56, 78.5.
That's a good number.
Makes sense.
How about 100 plus, Lisi, plus 430? 44 more yards.
It's not bad.
Up in the game, late fourth quarter workload, and a tight one's his, maybe?
It's not a bad number. I like it. How about Swift? 43.5. He's got 26. I mean,
Just not feeling anything with Chicago right now. Like, again, it's 6-3. It feels like it's 16-3.
You want to take? What do you want to take on Charbonnet? 90, 32 yards.
I mean, it's right there, right? Like it's not a bad call, Joe.
All right, plus 2-1. I'll take a shot. You want to do it?
Yeah, if I can move things,
Are we doing it?
Yeah, go.
Right, we're in. I'm in.
Ramadunze.
All right, let's get it. We need something good to happen here.
Are there any game specials around Charbonnet rushing?
What do you mean specials?
Like 10 each quarter?
Yeah, here.
Plus 145.
Charbonnet to record 25 rushing in each half now, minus 180. Each quarter's plus 145, 10 yards.
How about 20 rushing each quarter?
Yep, 10-1.
Not terrible.
No. How about Swift?
What's he got this quarter so far?
I don't know.
They suspended me on Zach.
All right, let's see what happens.
All right.
All right, we need.
Okay, let's up to the line. Let's call something.
Let's not be dead to rights here.
Go. Come on.
This kid Patterson non-existent in Bowling Green's offense.
There he goes, Donnie.
There's
Big
the
play.
yardage.
Long reception, though, was a really strong.
Smash it. What do you got, Caleb? You going to run? You going to run? You can turn the Jets on? Turn the Jets on.
There you go,
kid.
Donnie.
Get the kid. Come
There
on,
you go,
Donnie.
Donnie.
Come on, kid.
Hey, Skip.
Yeah. That should be a casher, right?
16.
Boom. We're in.
All right. Been doing it since 2018.
I don't know about that. You can't have more than one though. You can't have fire and bets pregame. You got to just wait now for the game itself to happen. Beautiful. Let's get profitable now, huh? All right, let me screen this up. All right. Now we got Caleb through his number. Can we get a Komet sighting, Joe? I mean, no targets.
It's crazy. Doesn't even
How
look
about
it.
Hutch yesterday? 2 targets, 18, 19 yards.
Maybe right here, Donnie. Everything
love
is Swift.
All right, Lisa, I took the 90-plus with you.
All right, let's get it.
So we got a shot on that now. We'll see how we do.
All it takes is one shot, Donnie. One shot.
We need a touchdown
The
pass.
kill
That's
shot.
what we need.
The kill shot, baby.
Russian number comes in. Now we got to
now let's move it.
Move it
Move
along.
it around here. We don't need any more at him. Or as Lisi would do it, I should just be re-up in my Russian props now in the quarterback.
That's it.
My favorite one of the season that you did in that Matchy. Caught a ball in the first strike, went, every week I bet it looks like it's him all game. All right, CJ loves him this week. And I mean, he saw the ball an average amount of times the rest of the way, but You only need to see one go through the door to feel hot.
Oh, boy.
Keenan Allen, Lisi, leaving you at the door a little tonight, no?
Yeah, I need him for 40. So, what does he have, 21?
I have it here, 1 for 16. Maybe that was your second grab.
He just caught that. So I think he's up to 18 now.
Yeah.
2 yards. All right.
Okay, quick commercial break. We'll be right back at SportsGrid.